Exodus chapter 40, and we read that Moses finished the work. Exodus chapter 40 and verse 33. Here we see the completion of the tabernacle after 15 chapters. In the last 15 chapters of Exodus, all are concerned with the tabernacle or things connected to it. But here we see that this expression in verse 33, Moses finished the work. Whenever I thought of that, I thought of the work of Christ in John 19 verse 30, where Jesus cried, "It is finished." Here we see, first of all, the obedience of Moses, as the Lord had commanded Moses, and Moses had to be obedient to complete the work. It reminded me of the greater obedience of Jesus Christ. Philippians 2 verse 8, he became obedient to death, even the death of the cross. Then we see that the cloud, verse 34, covered the tabernacle of meeting, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. So we see the completion of the work meant that the cloud came down, and Moses was not able to enter the tabernacle of meeting because the cloud rested above it, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Here we see the glory of God actually was a barrier to Moses actually going in to meet with God. And I thought the contrast with John chapter 1 verse 14. The Word became flesh and tabernacled amongst us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten Father, full of grace and truth. And so whilst the glory was a barrier here we think of the glory of Jesus Christ, full of grace and truth, and how that enabled sinners and us as Christians through faith in Jesus Christ to come near to God. Also remember Hebrews chapter 10 says that we can enter into the holiest through the blood of Jesus. So it's the fact that Jesus became a person and shed his precious blood means we now have access to God anytime through prayer, and every Christian is a priest and can pray directly to God and ask for their help. Next thing we noticed was, if we were to scan the previous verses, there was Moses, there was Aaron. If we were to read the chapters before, there were the Levites. There was also the skillful men of Bezalel and Aholiab, and they were the ones that were to help Moses complete the work. So Moses couldn't complete this work on his own. He needed the help of others. But the contrast is with Jesus Christ. It was him alone on the cross cried, "It is finished." Thank you for listening.